Hi everyone, this is AmySunHee, and welcome to another Inktober art haul video. If you would like to see the art supplies I used last year, just click on the thumbnail link. Otherwise, I will be sharing with you some new supplies that I'm adding to the roster for this year. All of the products you see today will be listed in the description below. So let's get started. So last year, I used Moleskine brand Watercolor Pad sketchbooks. As you can see, it worked out pretty well. It didn't let colors bleed through, and there were enough pages to cover the 31 days for Inktober. However, this year, I'll be using a new watercolor pad. This one is made by Canson, and it's a cold-pressed watercolor pad. There are 15 sheets, and as you can see, all of the pages are bound on all of the sides. This keeps the paper from warping when you're applying ink and other wet media to it. And in order to remove the pages, you just use a blunt edge like that of a palette knife. Unlike last year, I'll only be doing Inktober every other day for this upcoming month, so 15 pages is all I need. Next is the ink. Just like last year, my main black ink will be Winsor Newton Black India ink. This remains my favorite black ink just from the quality of it. It doesn't have floating particles that can show up when you apply washes of ink to your piece, and it has some rich, deep tones when you want it to be opaque. As for colored ink, last year I tried to use Daler & Rowney's FW brand. However, it didn't have the consistency that I was looking for. So this year, I will be opting for the Higgins Ink. When you apply this ink, it's very translucent. It allows you to build up layers and layers, depending on what shade of color you want. This bottle is their cyan color, and I also purchased a magenta bottle as well. So this is what it looks like in its packaging. And for additional colors, I will be using Winsor Newton brand watercolors. And this is my old and trusty watercolor palette. It's a little messy, but it's because it still has all of the colors I used in my last project. You can really use any kind of paint palette, but I like this one because it has a nice lidded case, and I can take it with me on my travels. Moving on to brushes, the main brand I use is the Winsor Newton Sable watercolor brushes. I've accumulated a couple sizes in the past year. This one is a number 10, and I also have a number 7 and a number 2 size brush. And this is probably my favorite painting utensil. This is a Niji Waterbrush. This was in my last Inktober art haul video and is still by far my favorite. The handle holds a small amount of water, so wherever you are, you can always paint. Again, I've bought in a couple sizes since last time, so now I have a large and a small. And I also recently bought this pack of 3 water brushes. These were just a random off-brand that I found on Amazon. I bought these because they were cute and pink, but also they made for good backup brushes. For pens this year, I have a couple new additions. first is a brush pen by Pentel Arts. I've been hearing some really good reviews about this pen, so I wanted to try it out for this year's Inktober. And I'm also adding this set of Neopiko black ink liners. This was a gift from a friend, and I haven't had a chance to really use them, so I figured this is the perfect opportunity. For mistakes, highlights, and other white ink uses, I use a Jelly Roll white pen. This is a staple in my everyday art arsenal. And when a small pen doesn't do the job, then I turn to Copic Opaque White. This is kind of like whiteout that you apply with a brush, and it works great for corrective or highlighting purposes. And finally, I have a couple supplies that I use to prep pages that I'm about to work on. The first being a set of bulldog clips. These small metal clips I place on the edge of the paper just to keep the book together and extra pages out of the way. I also keep a roll of washi tape on hand. With this, I tape around the edges of the page to create a nice border for whatever piece I'm working on. And those are the supplies for 2018. There are a few returning favorites and a couple new additions. Now let's see how these supplies work in a small speed painting. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell. I usually try to upload at least one video each month. And if you want to support future videos like this, please check out my Patreon. The support I receive from my patrons goes back to replenishing my art supplies, and in turn, those art supplies help me keep creating more content for you all, and patrons will receive monthly rewards. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye bye!